Hello dear friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Paulina, and here on my channel it is all about fragrances. In today's video I'm going to continue talking about fragrances with a powdery note. It's going to be 7 fragrances, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about powdery fragrances with a distinguishing floral aspect. Powdery fragrances are very cozy to our nose. We prefer wearing them because they translate a state of being pampered, of being well groomed, and that's why we like these fragrances. Also, powdery fragrances can be a little bit with dry aspect, like a little bit dusty, well, because of the dry powder. The notes that are responsible for this powdery accord are usually heliotrope, iris, violet, tonka beans, this type of notes, ingredients. So I'm going to start with the fragrance from the house of Kenzo Flower. Concentration Eau de Toilette. That was the flanker and new release of Kenzo Flower from the last year, 2021. So what can be more representative for this kind of powdery, floral powdery fragrances than Flower by Kenzo? I find it quite different to the original Eau de Parfum. It's not so intense for my nose. It is a little bit lighter, but it has some herbal touch, like a little bit of chamomile, some dried herbs. Very pleasant. For my nose, this is a universal fragrance, a day-wear fragrance. It's going to be office friendly, it's a polite fragrance, not offensive, and and I think it's also ageless. And it has this beautiful flowery, floral, powdery touch. The longevity is nice for the concentration of Eau de Toilette, and I quite like wearing this fragrance both in the office and outside. The next fragrance that I would like to talk about is already a rare one. It was discontinued, and I'm talking about Insolence by Guerlain, Glacée. It was a flanker, and actually this is the only version of Insolence that I can wear because my nose doesn't agree with Insolence, and I don't find the original Insolence powdery and tender. This one is as though you would freeze the violets and then you would make them powdery, like make a powder out of the violet. That's kind of impression that I get smelling this fragrance. Frozen violet. So this fragrance gives a little bit chill. It is a chilly, refreshing fragrance, very feminine, very tender. Beautiful accord of violets with this dry powdery effect. Also ageless, also office friendly, and I think regardless of the season. The next fragrance that I would like to talk about is Floris White Rose, an English niche brand, favorite fragrance of the late Queen Elizabeth. According to the legend, this fragrance was created in the 19th century. Of course, it was reformulated. From the first sniff, I wouldn't say that this is a typical powdery scent, but it has the tendency of becoming powdery, cosmetic, makeup-y, quite pleasant, very young, non-offensive, office-friendly, romantic, a little bit with a nostalgic touch. The longevity is quite nice, and I think it's a very special fragrance. And of course we talk about the white rose here, pure virgin white rose. So the next fragrance that I would like to talk about is Italian niche brand Giardino Benessere White Musk. I couldn't quite get used to this fragrance. I tried wearing it many times outside or inside in the office. There's something that my nose doesn't agree with, and I think this is this typical lilac scent. I'm not the biggest fan of the lilac in perfumery, and although the note of lilac isn't listed here, for my nose it smells like lilac, like a little bit dusty, powdery lilac. It has the tendency of becoming powdery, dusty. Well, it is a fragrance of being well groomed, something of a cosmetic direction. Actually, it's a very nice one, but not being a lilac lover makes it difficult to me, although the longevity is nice, the projection and sillage, every quality, in every sense, it's a high quality. And it's a very floral, feminine powder in the bottle. So if you have the chance to try it, I would recommend to do so. I wouldn't buy it blindly. So the next fragrance, I already talked about this a couple of times, and I'm talking about the Iris de Chambre by French traditional house Houbigant. For me, this is the ultimate femininity, the ultimate representation of cosmetic, powdery, makeup-y fragrances. This fragrance doesn't translate this dryness of a typical powder, but this is it's the translation of very expensive luxury cosmetic or powdery direction. So of course it is a fragrance dedicated to Iris, with a little bit carroty touch. Iris sometimes tends to have this accord of carrot, but you can't compare this one with Iris by Hermes. So if you're disturbed by this carroty note, it might be difficult for you, and that's why it is very important to try it before you buy it. The longevity is nice here, and for me this is also an ageless season, regardless the season fragrance for day wear. For my nose, more for the informal occasions. I don't like wearing it too much in the office because it gives me this feeling of being relaxed and, you know, in a good mood. Not exactly what I want being at the office. It's a fragrance of a kind mother, of happy woman, of something cozy, and it's like being pampered. Yeah, it's like being pampered wearing this fragrance. The next fragrance that I would like to talk about is also dedicated to Iris, Iris d'Or, Golden Iris by the Italian brand Bvlgari from the line Splendida. This is completely different Iris, whereas this one is a blue iris, you know, and this one is, for my nose, how I experienced it, a yellow or white iris. It has less of this relaxing qualities. It is more extrovert. It is more about, you know, being happy and wearing it during some festive happy moments. Also office friendly, it's not going to suffocate anybody, and of course it is dedication to Iris, but quite different. It is a sunny Iris. It's like a sunny day and you wanna shine in this fragrance. Longevity is also nice. I'm very happy, and of course the bottle. Well, Bvlgari and Italian brands, they know about the about the making their fragrances beautiful as well. And the last fragrance, it's a new fragrance to me, Italian niche brand Rancé, and the fragrance name is Pauline. Well, obviously I bought this fragrance mainly because of its name, Pauline. Pauline was the sister of Napoleon Bonaparte, and she was married to an Italian aristocrat Borghese. She was a beauty of that time, and many artists fought to represent her in the art. And there's still a statue by Antonio Canova, if I'm not mistaken, who made a statue, and she was the model. You can still find the statue in Italy, in Genova, and this is Venus Victrix. So yeah, and the whole brand of Rancé, it is a traditional, historical, very old French house that created perfumes for the royal family of Napoleon Bonaparte. And later the company moved to Milano, and that's why now we talk about the Italian niche brand. All the fragrances are dedicated to the family of Napoleon, to him, to Josephine, to his sisters, and they kind of represent the feeling of that time, of course, and they claim that they used old formulas to recreate the perfumes. So here we talk about powdery fragrance dedicated to violet. But it's not only violet and not only powdery note that I detect here. There's a special twist that you can smell here. I don't quite understand yet because I just unpacked this fragrance, and look how beautiful this ribbon goes with my shirt today. It's a very elegant fragrance. The first impression is very positive. Of course it's a powdery scent, of course it's a violet, but there's something special about it, some twist, something spicy in it. So the notes listed here are cotton flower, orange, ylang ylang in the top notes. In the middle, just a moment, violet, rose, patchouli, and in the base, tonka beans, benzoin, and virgin cedar. So maybe this is this woody touch that I detect. Something bitter, some twist. Well, the first impression is very positive. I bought this fragrance some time ago, and I just waited for the appropriate moment to unpack it and make the first impressions video. This fragrance, I think it was already discontinued, so it was quite difficult to find it. But I'm very happy having it. Look at this beautiful packaging. And at the back of the packaging, it is like a short story about this fragrance. It was Pauline, Napoleon's favorite sister, the most charming, that in 1807 François Rancé dedicated this fragrance. So this fragrance obviously was reformulated, and but this is an original formula. I hope so. So I'm going to put the statue of Venus in my video so that you can see how Pauline looked like. Okay, these were 7 fragrances, flowery, powdery fragrances. In the next video I'm going to continue my talk about the powdery fragrances. I love powdery fragrances, and I have many of them. But for me, for my nose, they are different. They are different, they have their aspects. If you are interested in this videos, please subscribe to my channel, because I talk about some very special fragrances. Well, I thank you for your attention and see you soon next video. Bye bye!